Hey, welcome to Old World Soap Shop. It's Stephanie here, and I'm going to be making some bath bombs today. So this is actually not a recipe that I created on my own. It is a recipe from a beautiful soap maker named Jerica Zimmerman, and we've never met personally, but she has really helped out a ton of people by giving away handy tips and even some recipes. And this is just one that I have picked up from her, and it's tried and true, so I wanted to share with you. I was going to be making some bath bombs today, so I figured I'd just film it. And if you haven't seen Jerica, head over to her channel. She's awesome. She has thousands of followers, and it's for a good reason. So yeah, I am going to get started in a minute, but first I wanted to talk about the scents, fragrances that I'm using. And again, they're from Wholesale Supplies Plus, made by Crafter's Choice. And I'm going to use a combination of this one, which is Amber Sandalwood, Fragrance Oil 827 to get real specific, and sorry, that's Amber Romance actually. And then this one is Sandalwood, and this is a blend of essential oils and fragrance oils, and it is blend number 104. So with bath bombs, you want to stay in a range of 1 to 3%. You do not want to go over that, because with bath bombs you're soaking in the tub and you can really develop a rash if you go over that, just because you're not washing it off, you're soaking for a while in the bathtub, and it's just not really good on your skin. So I've seen comments before about people who have developed rashes, and you just want to make sure that you're safe, you're playing it safe, better safe than sorry. And so I will go up to 3%, which is what I'm doing today, but you definitely don't want to go over that. Another thing, there are some fragrance oils out there, or essential oils, that will even say, you know, don't go over 0.5%, and that is because they are very skin sensitive. So with those, I wouldn't even use them, because if it's, you know, you're not allowed to go over 0.5%, there's no really wiggle room, just in case somebody who has very sensitive skin who's using it, you know, even though it's at 0.5% and it seems low to us, it might be high for them. So even though, like today, I'll give you an example, this Amber Romance on Wholesale Supplies Plus, if you type it in for bath bombs, it might say that the recommended amount is 5% and the max IFRA is 13.60%. But just because the recommended amount is 5% does not mean that you want to go up to that with bath bombs. It's fine for soap, but for bath bombs, even though it says it on here, everywhere you read and everybody who's been doing it for years will say no more than 3%. And so anyways, even though it says up to 5%, I am going to be using it under that. So with a combination of these two, again, it's not going over 3%. So I am going to be mixing those together and showing you exactly what I have here, including my colors that I'm going to be using today. So Amber and Sandalwood, probably like golden honey color with brown. I don't know, it's gonna look kind of rich, so I will figure that out. I'm gonna mix up colors. Sometimes I surprise myself, so I don't really know what I'm gonna do yet, but you're along for the ride, so I'm gonna turn you around. All right, so first I'll be measuring out 1341 grams. That's 1,341 grams of baking soda. I actually have my other scale, my very, very nice one, and the cord, the plug-in went into a bowl of alcohol I had sitting out, and so it's not working right now. I might have to order a new one, but this one does really well too, and it was way cheaper. The Zerula scale. Then I'm using 54 grams cream of tartar. And then I'll be putting in SLSA, not to be confused with SLS, okay? It's very important. This is not the same as SLS. And the other name for it is lathanol, it's LAL. Do some studies on this because people will come up and look at your ingredients, and on mine it says SLSA. People think it's SLS. It is not. So this just makes everything really foamy in the bath and sudsy. And did I say 35 grams? Yeah, 35 grams of this. If you type in SLSA on Wholesale Supplies Plus, it will come up with this. This is the new name for it. It is also very important not to breathe this in. You want to wear a mask. I have this thing right now, just because the particles are super tiny and they go airborne pretty quickly, so you just don't want to aggravate your lungs with this or your breathing. So now we're going to add 25 grams of kaolin clay. Okay, now we're gonna blend this, and again, this will kind of go airborne with everything, so make sure your kids are in a different room. Make sure that if you're gonna be around it and not walking away, you wear some kind of mask. And yeah, we're gonna start blending it. So what we're doing here is we're just blending all the dry ingredients together, but one thing you do not want to blend in the citric acid until the very end, because it will activate the bath bomb anytime, you know, the liquid's mixed in with the citric acid. It's going to start effervescing and bubbling up. So that's something you want to end with after all said and done. You'll see in a bit what I'm talking about. So I have this blender here. This is, what is this? It's okay, I don't know if you can see it. It's a good blender. I couldn't afford a KitchenAid, so this was the next best thing, and it really does work well. It's AUCMA, and I found it off Amazon. So I mixed some colors together. As you can see in here, there's like 3 different colors, and the name of the colors are gingerbread brown, it's very pretty brown, and copper by Dibble Dabble, and tangerine. So I'm just gonna mix them together and see what I come up with. Seems like a good choice, so we'll see. I'm gonna mix it together with hot water, probably like a couple tablespoons of hot water. Okay, so I've mixed this together. I have this color. I would say just like, I don't know. What does that look like? Let's see. I can actually find out. So this is a half tablespoon. So let me look out. So let's see how many. I've got 1. More than I should have done, but okay, so that was 2 tablespoons right here. I'm gonna mix it in and see what the color it comes up with. So, what color it comes up with, we'll see. So I believe that I ended up getting the perfect sandalwood color, and that's what I got. So if you look it up online, it'll come up with sandalwood. It is a light brown, and I did end up adding, because I needed to lighten it a little bit, some of this yellow. So it's a perfect combination. And now I'm going to mix my liquids and end up adding it into here. So it's kind of a mess here now. I need to clean this up, but the dry ingredients just kind of poof and get all over the place, but we'll clean it up later. And for now, I just added some shea butter in here, and I'm gonna melt this. And this is only 5 grams. A little bit goes a long way in bath bombs though. Next up is 9 grams of avocado oil. So we'll add everything into the melted shea butter. 8 grams of polysorbate 80. This is a binder, so it will help bind your bath bombs together. Okay, I gotta tear out my scale. So here's my fragrance. Now I'll put in 24 grams of alcohol, and I'm constantly refilling this with a huge bottle that I have. So I'm just gonna dump it in. This is gonna help so that we can work with our bath bomb material when we're molding it. And then it won't have extra moisture, because although it will help us mold it, the alcohol is not gonna stick around. It will evaporate into the air. So 24 grams. Okay. All right, so I'll bring this back over. So now we are going to mix this together. We'll get it good and mixed before we add the citric acid. So this time I'm just doing one solid color. I'm not gonna do multicolors on this bath bomb. And then tomorrow, after everything's all set up, I will throw some colors on the top. And I'll show you how I do that too. So now we are going to measure out the citric acid. And we need 902 grams, so that's a lot. This is gonna make quite a few bath bombs though, more than a few. So just make sure you have all of the ingredients on hand before you start. You don't wanna be short of anything. So yeah, this is 902 grams of citric acid. Here is 902 grams. So now we'll need to mix it with everything else. Put it back on here. There we go. Just kind of help it along by scraping it off the sides. And then once everything's fully incorporated and mixed up, you can start making your bath bombs. And I'll show you what I do with that. Okay, so what I do to let these dry is I take a dish mat, it's padded, and then I'll set it out. I take some clean, yes these are clean, it's hard to believe it, I know. They are full of stains. But I take my tea towels that I use for soap making, and I just line this thing. And then I'll even get parchment paper, wax paper, and put that over here so that the bath bombs do not stick to the towel. All right, so I have my wax paper out now, and I will start making these bath bombs. So I'm just gonna kind of overpack it a little bit lightly. Just don't pack it down, but kind of make a mound like that. And then you'll do the same thing with the other one. Just kind of lightly, and it should feel kind of like wet sand. Oops. And then you're just gonna push it in together. Don't twist too much because then you'll ruin. You just want it to kind of go straight together and not mess up the inside. I'm gonna push real hard, use your strength. And if you want, a couple times even, you can kind of tap, like turn it over, and then I'm going to pull it apart. And it's one beautiful looking bath bomb. Isn't that beautiful? So nice. Okay, so I will continue doing this. Okay, so here are the finished Amber and Sandalwood bath bombs. I'm really happy with them. They smell very good. They've got a nice round shape, and I'm going to shrink wrap them now to get them ready for the market tomorrow.